Japan approaches home design differently. Every daily frustration is treated as something worth properly eliminating. A countertop water server that gives you ice cold or near boiling water on demand, making the kettle and fridge water filter both unnecessary. A buckwheat hull pillow that shifts and conforms to your neck as you move rather than holding one fixed position through the night. And a ceramic grater that produces a finer result from ginger and garlic than any metal version comes close to. None of these are luxury upgrades. They're practical daily tools that Japanese homes treat as standard. Today we're counting down 18 things Japanese homes have that instantly fix daily life. Watch until the end because number 18, the steam convection microwave, reheats food to its original quality, which sounds impossible until you understand how Japan replaced the microwave's only real flaw. Number 1, Japanese home water servers. Most kitchens have a kettle that boils water when needed and a fridge that keeps water cold. Getting a hot drink means waiting for the kettle. Getting cold water means the tap or a jug in the fridge. Two separate systems for two separate temperature needs. Japan's home water server handles both from the same countertop unit. A large tank of filtered mineral water sits on a dispenser that delivers ice-cold water at around 5 degrees and near-boiling water at around 85 degrees with a single press. Subscribers receive regular tank deliveries from brands including Premia Water and Cosmo Water. No waiting for a kettle, no refilling a jug, no buying bottled water. Around 10 million Japanese households subscribe to a water server service. It replaces the kettle, the fridge water filter, and the daily bottled water habit with one appliance that's always ready at both temperatures. Number 2, buckwheat hull pillows. Most pillows are filled with foam, fiber, or down. They compress under the weight of your head, hold a fixed shape, and gradually lose whatever support they started with through the night. By morning, the pillow is flat, your neck is in a position it didn't choose, and the support it provided hours earlier has long since gone. Japanese buckwheat hull pillows work differently. The filling is loose individual husks that shift and redistribute with every movement. The pillow conforms to the exact shape of your head and neck in the position you're actually sleeping in, rather than the position it was propped into when you lay down. When you move, it adjusts. When you stay still, it holds the shape you're in. The result is consistent support through the night that foam and fiber can't maintain because they compress rather than conform. It's a traditional Japanese sleep item that fixes the specific nightly problem standard pillow fillings have never properly solved. Number 3, fishbone tweezers. Cooking fish at home in most Western kitchens involves a compromise. You buy a fillet, cook it, and eat it carefully because the pin bones may or may not have been fully removed before it reached you. If they haven't, you find them one by one with your tongue or your fingers, tearing the flesh in the process. Japan fixes this at the preparation stage. Fishbone tweezers have a flat angled tip designed specifically to grip a pin bone at the surface of the fillet and pull it cleanly without tearing. The angled flat grip makes contact with the bone rather than sliding off the way standard tweezers would. They're sold in every Japanese home store as a standard preparation tool. The fish is prepared properly before it hits the pan, and eating it becomes the straightforward experience it should be, rather than a minor ongoing hazard throughout the meal. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even smarter. Number 4, Japanese home blood pressure monitors. In most Western countries, checking your blood pressure means visiting a pharmacy, a doctor's office, or a gym. It happens infrequently, usually when prompted by a health concern, and rarely as a daily routine. Japan treats blood pressure monitoring differently. Home monitors are standard household appliances, used as a morning health check, the way most people check their weight or temperature. Omron, a Japanese company and the world's leading home monitor brand, makes devices found in a significant proportion of Japanese homes. The logic is practical. Blood pressure varies significantly by day, time, activity level, and stress. A single reading at a clinic every 6 months tells you almost nothing useful. A daily reading taken at the same time each morning builds a picture that's actually meaningful. Japan treats it as a daily habit. The West treats it as something you do when something feels wrong, which is often too late to be particularly useful. Number 5, Japanese kitchen scissors. Most kitchen scissors do light work, snipping herbs, opening packaging, cutting string. For anything more demanding, the assumption is that you reach for a knife and a chopping board. Japanese kitchen scissors are built to a different standard and used differently. Heavy blades with spring-loaded handles cut through raw chicken joints, thick noodles, dried seaweed, and leafy vegetables directly over the pot or bowl without a board underneath. You hold the ingredient over the cooking vessel, cut it to the size you need, and it falls straight in. The board stays in the cupboard. The counter stays clean. The washing up is the scissors, not the board, the knife, and the counter surface. Japanese kitchen scissors from brands including Kai are standard preparation tools used multiple times a day rather than occasionally. In Japan, the scissors are as central to daily cooking as the knife. The West uses them to open cereal boxes and calls it done. Number 6. Electric heated blankets. Standard bedding insulates. It traps the heat your body generates and keeps it around you. That works reasonably well until you get into a cold bed and spend 10 minutes waiting for it to warm up, or until your temperature drops during the night and the insulation alone isn't enough. Japanese electric heated blankets solve both problems. Precise temperature controls and body zone settings warm the bed before you get in and maintain a gentle, consistent warmth through the night without overheating. Japanese models from brands including Panasonic and Yamazin are more sophisticated than basic on-off blankets available in the West. Different zones for the upper and lower body can be set independently. Timer functions pre-warm the bed before sleep. You get into a warm bed at the temperature you chose. You stay at that temperature through the night. Two specific nightly discomforts solved by one blanket that does what bedding alone has never quite managed. Number 7. Rice washing bowls. Washing rice before cooking is a daily task in most Japanese kitchens. You rinse it multiple times until the water runs clear, drain it, and measure the correct water ratio before it goes into the cooker. Done in a standard bowl or directly in the pot, it's more awkward than it needs to be. Grains escape with the rinse water. Draining requires covering the bowl with your hand or improvising with whatever is nearby. The Japanese rice washing bowl has drainage holes built into the base and water measurement markings on the interior wall. You wash the rice, tip the bowl to drain, and the holes let water out while holding grains in. The markings show exactly how much water to add. It does one thing and does it completely. The rice washing process that happens every single day in a Japanese kitchen has a specific tool designed for exactly that process and nothing else. Number 8. Vacuum compression bags. A winter duvet takes up roughly the same amount of space whether it's June or January. When it isn't being used, it sits in the wardrobe consuming the same volume as when it's on the bed, leaving less room for everything stored alongside it for the next 6 months. Japan's approach is vacuum compression bags. A Ziploc bag large enough for a full duvet or a season's worth of winter clothing gets filled, sealed, and compressed using a vacuum cleaner nozzle or hand pump. With the air removed, the contents compressed to a fraction of their original size. What took a full shelf now takes a quarter of one. These are widely available at Japanese home stores and treated as a standard seasonal storage solution rather than a specialty product. The wardrobe space that winter bedding consumed in summer becomes available. In homes where every shelf counts, the compression bag effectively creates storage that wasn't there before. Number 9. Japanese ceramic graters. Standard metal graters work? They grate. What they also do is tear rather than shave, produce a coarser result than the ingredient sometimes warrants, and require significant effort with wet fibrous ingredients like fresh ginger and garlic, where the teeth snag rather than cut cleanly. Japanese ceramic graters use fine, raised teeth on a flat ceramic surface to produce a much finer, more uniform result. Fresh ginger comes off as a smooth paste rather than a stringy pile. Garlic breaks down evenly. The result integrates into dishes more completely and with less visible texture than the metal version produces. They're flat, easy to clean, and standard in Japanese kitchens where ginger and garlic are used daily in ways Western cooking doesn't always demand. The difference is most obvious the first time you use one. The result is visibly finer, and once you've seen the difference, going back to the metal version is a difficult choice to make. Number 10. Electric heated clothes errors. Indoor drying in poor weather is a compromise. You hang laundry on a rack and it takes most of the day, developing a musty smell in the process if the air around it isn't warm or moving enough to finish the job properly. Japanese electric heated clothes errors add gentle warmth to the drying process. The rack heats to a low temperature, air circulation around the clothes increases, and drying time drops significantly. The gentle heat prevents dampness from lasting long enough to develop odor. These are standard laundry appliances in Japanese homes without outdoor drying access, used particularly in apartments during rain and cold seasons. They don't use the energy of a tumble dryer and they don't require outdoor space. They sit where the drying rack already sits and do the same job considerably faster and with a noticeably better result. Number 11. Bamboo charcoal fridge deodorizers. Open most refrigerators and the smell is a combination of everything inside it. Cheese, leftover fish, cut onion. The odors transfer between items and accumulate into a general fridge smell that greets you every time the door opens. Small bamboo charcoal blocks placed inside the refrigerator absorb those odors through the highly porous structure of the charcoal. Active charcoal draws in airborne molecules, including food odors, and holds them in its microscopic pore structure rather than allowing them to circulate. When saturated, placing the charcoal in direct sunlight for a few hours releases the absorbed molecules and reactivates it for reuse. No replacing. No ongoing cost beyond the original purchase. These are a standard Japanese fridge accessory widely sold at home stores throughout the country. The fridge stops smelling like a mixture of its contents and starts smelling like nothing, which is what a refrigerator should do, but most of them don't. Number 12. Cascade clothes hangers. The wardrobe rail is a fixed length. The clothes needing to hang on it are not a fixed number. When the rail runs out of space, the options are a second rail, a second wardrobe, or finding somewhere else to put things. Japan's Cascade hangers offer a different option. A single hanger point supports a multi-level system with 5 or 6 hooks below it, each holding a separate garment. The space one hanger occupied now holds 6. These are enormously popular in Japanese wardrobes, used as the primary organization tool in homes where space is consistently at a premium. They're inexpensive, widely available, and require no installation beyond hanging them on the existing rail. The same physical wardrobe holds significantly more clothing after a brief session replacing standard hangers with Cascade versions. No new furniture, no structural change, just a different hanger that uses the vertical space below the rail that standard hangers leave completely empty. Number 13. The pot lid rest. When you lift the lid off a pot during cooking, it has one logical place to go and one place it usually ends up. The logical place is a specific holder beside the stove. The usual place is flat on the counter where it leaves a ring of condensation, transfers heat to the surface, and sits in its own drips until you need it again. The pot lid rest is a small stainless steel or silicone stand that sits beside the stove specifically for this moment. The lid goes on the stand at a slight angle, drains back toward the pot rather than across the counter, and stays safely off the surface. It's a standard Japanese kitchen accessory that solves a small problem occurring multiple times during every cooking session. The problem of where to put the lid isn't dramatic, but it happens every time you cook, and a small stand beside the stove eliminates it permanently. Number 14. Instant cool towels. Japan's summers are hot in the specific way that makes outdoor activity genuinely difficult. The combination of heat and humidity that settles over the country from June through September produces conditions where the body struggles to cool itself effectively because the air is already saturated with moisture. Instant cool towels are made from material that drops significantly in temperature when wet and waved briefly in the air. The physical cooling is immediate and lasts several minutes before needing to be re-wet and waved again. They're used throughout Japan for outdoor commutes, exercise, and any summer activity that can't be moved indoors. Widely available at Japanese home stores and sports retailers. It's not a substitute for air conditioning. It's a specific solution to needing to cool down quickly when air conditioning isn't available, delivering immediate physical relief in about 10 seconds. Number 15. Compact foldable step stools. Most homes have at least one shelf or cupboard requiring extra height to reach properly. The solution in most Western homes is an old chair used as a step, a full-size stepladder stored somewhere inconvenient, or simply not accessing what's up there very often. Japanese compact folding step stools collapse to a few centimeters in width when not in use. They store behind a door in a slim gap between appliances or flat against a wall. They open in seconds into a stable full-height step when needed and fold back away immediately after. Brands including Hasegawa produce lightweight models sold as standard home accessories in Japan. The high shelf gets used, the top of the cabinet gets cleaned, the ceiling light gets changed without involving a chair that wasn't designed for standing on. A single compact tool that removes a recurring daily inconvenience and stores in a space that was already being wasted. Number 16. The Thermos lunch jar. The packed lunch problem is universal. You prepare something at home in the morning, put it in a container, and by lunchtime it's cold. The microwave at work reheats it to an acceptable temperature with a texture noticeably different from how it was made. Japanese vacuum-insulated lunch jars by brands including Zojirushi solve this without a microwave being involved at all. You fill the jar with freshly cooked food in the morning. 5 to 6 hours later at lunch, the food is still at a genuinely hot serving temperature. Soup, rice, pasta, stew, all of it arrives in exactly the condition it left the kitchen. The jar maintains heat through the same vacuum insulation used in high-performance thermos flasks, applied to a wide-mouth container designed for solid food. A hot homemade lunch every day without needing a microwave. That is a daily life improvement most people never knew was available to them. Number 17. The compact ironing mat. An ironing board requires meaningful floor space and a proper storage location. Getting it out to iron a single shirt involves clearing space, unfolding the legs, adjusting the height, and reversing all of that when finished. The time spent setting up and packing away is frequently longer than the ironing itself. Japan's compact ironing mat is a padded surface that rolls or folds flat for storage in a drawer or on a shelf. It opens on any flat surface, a table, a counter, a bed, and provides a suitable ironing surface for any individual item or small number of garments. It's the right tool for the actual daily ironing task most people face, which is one or two items rather than the entire contents of a laundry basket. The full ironing board still exists for those who need it. The compact mat handles everything else with a fraction of the effort and none of the storage problems. Number 18. Steam convection microwaves. The microwave has one fundamental flaw. It reheats food by exciting water molecules, which drives moisture out rather than into the food. Leftover rice goes hard and dry. Bread becomes rubbery. Pasta loses the texture it had the day before. The food is hot but no longer tastes the way it was made. Japan replaced that mechanism. Steam convection microwaves by brands including Sharp's Hilzio and Panasonic's Bistro use superheated steam to heat food from the outside in, rather than agitating molecules from the inside out. Steam adds moisture rather than removing it. Reheated rice returns to its original texture. Bread crisps outside and stays soft inside. Yesterday's pasta is indistinguishable from today's. Beyond reheating, the same appliance bakes, grills, and steams, replacing the microwave, the oven, and the steamer with one unit. Japan identified the microwave's core problem decades ago, built a different mechanism, and has been reheating food properly ever since. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more life-fixing things.